I'm going to replace this extension sewer hose here that the previous owners had a very, I thought, innovative idea that they use for the sewer hose. So stay tuned, I'll show you how that looks and how it works. Hey everybody, how's it going again? Today I have another project for you on the Tim Rover channel where it's about your RV sewer hose. They had a very ingenious, innovative idea how they ran their sewer hose on the outside through a channel of Tim Rover where it was basically kind of a cleaner way of dumping your tanks. They had a short span like what you see here going into the main outlet of the gray and black tank, connected to a longer hose going into the inlet, going inside of the main station of the dump station where you're located. And this way, you don't have to go on the ground to connect this hose to your gray or black tank main connection. This way, I'm going to show you in a minute where it goes through a channel inside of the ground. Well, in Tim Rover case, this plastic here is kind of cracking. It's cracking here in certain sections where I notice it will be bubbled up sometime when I'm dumping the tanks out. So what I want to do now, I want to change this small run or small hose out, and I'm going to show you guys how to do that. Maybe you can try this out for your own RV down the road. As you can see here that they cut the elbow off where it doesn't have the connectors on it, and they also cut the top part of the sewer hose and tie this metal band around the elbow with the sewer hose, and then that ran out through another tube, and I'll show you in a minute, and that goes on the outside. This black flange you see here, this is actually a toilet flange that they use for some reason. That was pretty ingenious, I thought. Well, let me show you the bottom part, how it looks. So what they did here, the previous owners, they ran the PVC tubing connected to this toilet flange going outside of Tim Rover through these different modules here. And what happened is that they basically just simply screw this off. That's connected to a metal band here, a rope, where you pull this out and connect this here to your main hose here. This is what I want to replace just because this one here is starting to crack. I saw a few bubbles, so I want to get rid of that. So let's see how that turns out. Here, I'm going to use my Dremel here with a easy cut blade, and I'll show you what I'm going to do. Here I have a anti-siphon valve type connector. Well, as you can see here, this is the one that I had before. You can see the clamp here was broken off on this side. It looks like only 2 clamps. This one here has 4 clamps on it. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to just cut this right here at the indentation right here that connects onto the tubing. So I got just a little bit more to go, and this should be off. These here connectors, you've seen these over the years, different hardware stores. We're going to be using this here as the bottom part of this here. I got a different variety of them. You're never going to have enough of these things here. So the next part of this here, now that this here is off of the bottom section, I can go ahead and retrofit this here onto the valve for the gray and black tank. Give you a little up close look here. You see I have the 4 connectors here, and the other one had the 2 on here. So basically when I'm retrofitting, I'm going to make sure the 4 connectors here are nice and seated, nice and tight, where the pins are loose here, where they don't have to spit around, where you're going to have an issue where all of your residue is going to fall out. So therefore, this is what I wanted to achieve. So from here, I have the anti-siphon 90-degree elbow here, this clear one. I'm going to run a new sewer line from here to here before I put the clamps on. Previous owners of Tim Rover, I should say the previous owners of the rig, they use this innovation type sewer hose where they kept the male piece on and sliced off the female end, and they retrofitted down in this hole I'm going to show you in a minute. And I picked up another one here. It has the male end right here, as you can see, with the female end where it kind of clamps around. I'm going to see if I can use this one here instead of using the old one, just because the old one, I really don't know how long this has been attached to the rig. And it might be some holes or whatever. If the other one broke off, like I showed you earlier, if this broke off, just imagine this here is probably ready to go as well. So I'll just put that to the side, and what I'm going to do, I'm going to cut the end of this female neck off right here of the sewer hose and leave the male connector right here. So what I'm going to do after that, I'm going to take my side cutters, I'm going to cut this piece off. Good and trusty Husky side cutters. We'll just clamp that off. And now what we have the same end that we had on the previous version that looks like this here, as you can see. So now from there, I'm going to get you a closer look on what we're going to do with this here, how we're going to thread this through the tubing. And I'll take my hand to this end here, so just grab the other end, as you can see what's happening here. So therefore, this piece here is going to go on to the gray and black water valve here, like so, nice and tight. And then I'm going to clamp this on to the plastic 90-degree elbow. I'm going to connect that sewer hose onto this valve here with one of these flanges. This will give you an idea. It's kind of a big one here, kind of a big one, but we're not going to be using that. I'll give you an idea which I'm going to be using. But this clamp here, that's going to be clamped around the sewer hose itself. So this way it'll be nice and tight. And we should be done with this project. It looks great already. I kind of like the retrofit from the previous owner, so I'm going to follow suit because it's much easier. It's easier in the back, I should say, getting down here to try to connect this here, as well as having unforeseen issues, in which we probably have if you're an RVer. If you know what I mean, I wouldn't even go to that spot, but but you know what I'm talking about. So let me go ahead and get this all going, and we'll be done with this project, okay? That's great. So around this flange here, I kind of screwed it on. It's pretty tight. I like it. But what I'm going to do is take it one step further. I'm going to use this Super 88 super heavy duty use vinyl electrical tape. I think this is going to work because sometimes electrical tape works better than a lot of this other stuff out here. So I'm going to use this here, and I'll show you how I'm going to tighten this here on. Just a little bit of reinforcement before I put the clamps on. So this Super 88 tape, of course, I'll put a link in the description below. You guys can check it out. It's kind of hard even getting out of this container. You guys can order it for yourself. Just to have it on your RV for emergency purposes only, because if you're old school, we used a lot of electrical tape back in the day for whatever the reason may be. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to go ahead and just put this on like so. More of a reinforcement. As you can see, I'll start it here in the corner like so. Kind of overlap it with the other one and tighten it as I go around this here. And then what I'm going to do, once I put this here on, once I finish, I'm going to clamp it down with those metal clamps I showed you earlier. And this is, like I said, more of a reinforcement. You can never have enough reinforcement. This way you don't want this to fall off or whatever. You want it to be on here for a long time. So just having this on here, it's going to be on here for a while. Once I'm done with it, it's not going to go anywhere. So I got the black tank valve here and the gray tank here on the other side, and I have it clamped with this clamp here, and I reinforced it before I put the sewer hose on here. I reinforced it with this super strength electrical tape here, and of course you can see behind here, those are the connectors. So therefore, when this tank here, black and the gray tank, is released, you won't have that force pulling this off, because they have to turn counterclockwise before this can come off. So therefore, I don't have to worry about getting down here on my knees to make sure this here is safe on here or secure on here, because it can be a bare calcium there, looks like it can be a bare what's going on here. So when I release it, it'll just go straight out to this valve going into this hose here, down into the sewer itself. And of course, I have this here extension here. It's kind of cool. It's the black tank cleanout valve, as well as the anti-siphon valve that goes on top to keep out any contaminants. So I think this is a great project here. It's on and off valve. So this is another successful project. I like it. This is the old hose I'm going to discard because I don't need it anymore. And just make sure you have the right tools for the job. Basically, I use some channel locks to tighten it a little tighter, some side cutters to cut off the wiring. I use a simple screwdriver, and I use this Super 88 tape. This is super strong. It's thicker than most tape, and you can never have enough of these elbows. I'm going to discard this one here as well. So check your elbows, the connectors. If you have like the two here, try to get the one that has 4 connectors on it that looks like this here. You see the difference? Try to get that one, because this one here, after a while, this is going to dry rot. It's going to break off, and you don't want this to break off in an opportune time. So have these spares on hand. I have some 90 degrees, I have some 45 elbows, just because I want to make sure I have the right tools for the job. And of course, these metal clamps. I have different varieties of these clamps here. You can never have enough clamps, I should say, because these things do come in handy in a pinch. But this is another great project. I like it, and I hope you guys can try this out on your own rig, or try something different that might work for you. Until then, give me a thumbs up if you like. Hit the subscribe button on top, and I'll see you in the next episode of Tim Rover RV. You guys take care. Have a great day. Bye.